In this module, we will discuss techniques and focuses of various hitting drills. This is produced as a movie, so you may press pause at any time if you need more time to read or watch a slide. It is meant to be self-paced, so you may also rewind or fast forward as needed. Hitting drills are important because they make our body emphasize what we are trying to work on. It is important to isolate certain muscles in order to properly focus on a specific one that we're trying to. That is why you will see a few drills focusing on the upper half and a few focusing on the lower half. Many times, hitters will focus so much on the result, and that is what they base their success off of. It is important to understand that when you're trying to correct something, the main focus should be the correct technique and how your swing feels, not always the result. Results will come from consistent actions and consistent muscle memory. When referring to the upper half when talking about drills, that usually includes everything from your waist up, so your core, chest, arms, shoulders, head, eyes, etc. Throughout this module, each drill will have a few focuses which will work on achieving the movements that we talked about in Module 2. Some examples of these upper half movements are getting the hitters in the correct position at contact, getting to extension after contact, keeping the hitter's body behind the ball and not letting their hands rush forward, which usually creates a pushy and weak swing, head and eyes on the ball throughout the whole swing, and lastly, allowing the rotation of our core, hips, and shoulders to take us to contact. When referring to the lower half when discussing drills, it usually includes everything from your waist down, such as the waist, posterior chain, legs, feet, etc. Throughout this module, each drill will have a few focuses which will work on achieving movements that we talked about in Module 2. Some lower half examples of these are keeping the hitter's weight on the inside of their feet, allowing our hips to fully rotate, creating a strong base, driving the backside and not just spinning and staying balanced throughout our whole swing. The first drill, Face the Fire, really isolates the legs so the main focus can be on the upper half. If the hitter is capable, then have them use a baseball bat. Baseball bats are really good for softball training because they are heavier and they also have a smaller sweet spot, so it gives instant feedback if the hitter is not getting a good sweet spot on the ball. The focus of this drill is to keep the upper half closed and on the ball at contact and not allowing the shoulders or chest to fly off to the side. It is also important that we are feeling our hands get to connection, which we talked about in Module 2, and then allowing our rotation to take us to contact in order to stay behind the ball for a powerful swing. Getting to connection is important so we can use our body to supply the power, and it also puts our hands inside of the ball so we can then work to the big part of the field. Next, we want to feel our core, chest, back shoulder stay up the middle for as long as we can after contact. This refers to full extension, which we also talked about in Module 2. Just a reminder, getting to full extension relies a lot on our wrist. We want our wrist to create a whipping action after contact. Therefore, the bottom hand must remain facing up and the top hand must remain facing down all the way through extension. You perform this drill in 3 steps. I usually have hitters do 5 swings at each. The first stage, the hitter will have both feet facing where the pitcher would be. This is to simulate locking the legs out so the hitter is only focused on their upper half. The second stage, the hitter will close their lower half just a little bit and their feet will be at about a 45-degree angle. The third stage, the hitter is in their regular stance and doing what I call a Karate Kid kick. The Karate Kid kick is where the hitters bring their front leg up to really emphasize the load and control of their timing. You will see this drill started with a strong emphasis on the upper half and gradually allowed the hitter to work into a full swing. The high tee drill is a great drill for someone who has trouble dropping their hands and or swinging around the ball instead of to it and through it. This can be a tough drill, so it is okay to not swing hard at first. Maybe start at about 50% swing, then work to 75%, and then finally get to a full hard swing. The focus is that we are training our swing to always start at the top of the strike zone. We can always start our swing high and adjust low, but once we start low, we can't always work back up to the top of the strike zone. This is due to the law of gravity. It makes the swing always easier to start high and work down than to start down and work back up. The next focus is forcing the inside pitch back to the middle of the field. If the hitter is constantly pulling sideways off of the ball, then they probably hit a lot of foul balls or do not hit it at all. If we get the connection and get our hands close to our body and inside of the ball, we can then work to the ball we are trying to hit and continue our swing up the middle. The sandbag drill really helps hitters who have a bad tendency to squash the bug, which is what we talked about in Module 2. It also helps the hitter feel what it means to have your weight on the inside of the back foot. Notice that my knee is on the inside of the foot and I'm on the side of the bag, not directly on top of it. The focus is that we want to use this sandbag as a leverage to push against and supply all the power that we can with our backside. It is important that even though we are driving our backside, we do not want to lean forward. You must still focus on staying behind the ball. Also, make sure the hitter is not hitting with their hands and then driving the backside. You must drive the backside as you're getting to contact, so the hips and hands must work together. The happy feet drill really gets the hitter's legs moving so they can really put the focus all on the legs. The focus is for the hitter to feel their legs stay active and under them. On the load back, the hitter wants this to be in slow motion so they can really feel the weight work to the inside of their foot and feel their weight be controlled in the back hip flexor. If their back leg is too straight, then they will not be able to control this motion. The way this goes is the hitter will start out in front of the tee with their feet close together, and then will have a count of 1, 2, 1, 2, load, swing. The hitter will start the action with their back foot, so for a right-handed hitter, it would be right, left, load, swing. The Yankee drill is a really good drill because it works a lot of the hitting zones and really makes the hitter emphasize always starting at the top of the strike zone. With this, you can take as many swings as needed at each zone. I typically do around 10 at each. You will start with a high and inside pitch and gradually work to a low and outside pitch by moving the tee back and down a little bit after each zone. The point is for the hitter to feel themselves prepare for the high and inside pitch on every zone. So they will prepare for the high and inside pitch and then allow their body to work down to the ball rather than starting directly low once they get to the low and outside tee, which would then teach the hitter to drop their hands. There are generally 5 zones, but you could do more if you felt the need. The step-up drill, where the hitter's back foot is raised on a platform, is a full-body drill that I have found beneficial. Even though it works on many parts of the swing, you can make sure to have a main focus while doing it to prevent the hitter from thinking about too many things at one time. The first thing it really works on is teaching the hitter to allow their front leg to stay bent throughout their whole swing to maintain power and balance. If a hitter is straightening their leg out too soon, then they are going to get caught on their backside and more than likely create a very sideways swing. As we discussed in the previous module, the front leg should stay bent right up until contact. The next thing it works on is driving the backside to the ball. Therefore, the hitter's foot should come off of the platform. This will overemphasize really allowing the backside to supply the force to the ball and not getting caught and simply spinning. The last drill is Go Drill, which works the full body. It focuses on creating a deep bat path with the hands, committing to our swing, good timing, a good transition forward, including the core throughout our swing, and getting to a good money position. In the Go Drill, the hitter will start with their hands out in front of their face with the arms slightly bent and again at the top of the strike zone. They will also have their front leg up and not start their swing until they have held this position for about 3 seconds. It is called the go drill because once the hitter is balanced and ready, then they must commit, trust, and start their swing. Starting with the hands out in front allows the hitter to feel themselves work to a deep, powerful position with the hands. So you will see in the video that there is almost a slight swaying motion for me to get my bat back to a powerful position. Therefore, this allows the hitter to feel their hands still working back as their foot is working forward and down. This will help a hitter feel a good money position and get them out of the habit of feeling like their hands have to rush forward as soon as their front foot hits the ground.